guys and gals? NeveN here from Drakewing Gaming. As some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of NeveN. Before we jump into that, y'all, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is now up for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel and get some exclusive rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. All that for as little as $5, y'all. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back in. Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alrighty, alright. I can suddenly feel the prince's big paw on my shoulder. When I open my misty eyes, I can see his cloudy form kneeling beside me. As I wipe my eyes, he smiles with a reassuring expression. See? You can overcome your instincts after all. It was really good for a first training. There's a little lack of control, but that will come with practice. He just wanted to push me over the edge? All to force me to hit him like I did? For a second, I just want to flood him with insults, to tell him what an asshole he is, and then I realize that I feel better? Not everything is perfect, obviously, but I'm better. I have fewer things on my mind, and I feel lighter. I then raise my muzzle, casting a pleading look toward the bear. Do we really need to do this every time we train? The big beast bursts out laughing next to me, and I have to admit that it's quite contagious as I start to smile. I think we can take it a little easier next time. I can feel the bear's huge arms passing under mine and lifting me up as if I weigh nothing. And the prince crosses his arms, looking as cheerful as ever. You know, if it makes you feel better, you can insult me too. Oh, I don't know. The panther's menacing gaze intensifies as I allow myself a glance in his direction. I know it's a bad idea to say so much as one inappropriate remark to the prince, so insulting him might be pushing it a bit too far. But at the same time, it's kind of tempting. After everything he's put me through, I'd like to pay him back. Make an inappropriate remark. I like the idea of keeping my head on my shoulders, so let's not overdo it. A little disparaging remark will satisfy the prince without totally pissing him off. I look Melbourne in the eye with my best mocking expression. It's time to return the favor. I don't want to brag, but I'm pretty good with jabs. You know, as a bard, I hear a lot of rumors about different nobles and rulers around the world. My long ears aren't just for show. People who pass through the various royal courts talk a lot. Once they've had enough to drink, and I'm there to lend them a listening ear. The prince crosses his arms and assists with his eyes as I continue, a little amused frown on his lips. He's expecting a punchline in my story, so I hope I give him what he wants. It turns out the favorite topic of these ladies and gentlemen is what happens in bed. So much so that one would think that the nobles only think about sex. They love to talk about their torrid nights with lovers of all kinds, practicing the most exotic deeds. The bear's confidence quickly changes to an inquisitive stare. I think he's beginning to understand what direction I'm headed in with this story. The big problem is, it turns out I could hear a lot about the feats of your fathers. They're not exactly my fathers. Lusk is my uncle, and I don't want to know about his feats. Oh, you should pay attention, though. We even made songs about it. When the king starts to fuck, better not try your luck. You should hear their rumbles. They can make walls crumble. I have the great pleasure of seeing him embarrassed for the first time. I happen to have heard these kinds of rumors, but I haven't heard of any about you, so I wonder if it's a performance issue or maybe just a lack of experience. Usually princes are known for their frolicking. Hey, easy there. I'm discreet about it. That's it. Given Melbjorn's outraged face and defensive tone, I clearly struck a chord. Interesting hypothesis, but you know, it's not a great selling point to say that the prince is discreet in my songs. I'd rather say he's having some trouble hoisting the mast, if you know what I mean. It makes the people laugh. They need to vent against the powerful, after all. I don't think my subjects care all that much about my personal life at all. Besides, if they'd rather have me fucking around than leading, they don't know how heavy the weight of my office is. Indeed, the weight of your office is much less important to them than the weight of your... Enough, I get it. You've had your fun. End of training. Seeing the bear's irritated look, I struggle not to laugh, and I put on my most sarcastic air to answer him. I'm sorry, my prince. Please accept my deepest apologies. I feel the need to bow to Melbourne to mock him a bit more, but he stops me in my tracks by holding on my shoulders. There's no need for that. I accept your apology on one condition. I want you to train regularly, even when I'm not around. I'll keep that in mind, but that's it? I don't want to brag, but I was expecting something more physical. I have to spare you a bit. I don't want to break you from the start. I must confess to not understanding the prince's obsession with my physical condition. It seems to matter to him, so I nod politely. I understand. That said, forgive me, my prince, but my day has been long and exhausting, and I would like to rest a little. May I? With a wave of his paw, the bear dismisses me and picks up his weapon, preparing to continue in his slightly more serious training with Gillian while jovially calling out to me. Go, and don't forget my advice. Say hello to your feathery friend, by the way. I hope you enjoy yourself here until the competition starts. Second, y'all. It is water time. I will not fail to do so. Good day, my prince, and to you too, Gillian. The panther grunts back at me, apparently as pleasant as ever. He must not have appreciated the jabs I threw at the prince. It was a strange day, to say the least. Fortunately, after training with Mjolborn, things calmed down a bit. I finally had a chance to take a little nap in my room. I then explored the palace a bit. Well, the areas that are accessible to me, at least, which also means I located the most essential place in the entire building. Ooh, excuse me, the one I absolutely need to remember the location of. The kitchen. This allowed me to confirm that I won't have to pay for all my meals. My purse is saved, at least for now. Once my little exploration was over, I simply went back to my room. I've had enough excitement for the day, and the urge to go out was gone. Not to mention that I promised Vekad that I would go hunting with him tomorrow morning, and only the gods know exactly what time I'll have to wake up. Going to bed relatively early sounds like a good idea to me. However, before I go to sleep, I'm going to knock on Aket's door. I want to know how the bird is doing, and apologize for the way I behaved when I left. Unfortunately, no one answers me. I guess he's out. I can't really expect him to spend his day locked up, I guess. Which leaves me with only one thing to do. Sleep. Tomorrow is another day, and hopefully a better one. Well, here's a day that's off to a good start. I managed to wake up all by myself at the appointed time. If that's not a sign that the gods are with me today, I don't know what is. Besides, this day should be noticeably less tense than yesterday. Sure, Vekad wants me to go hunting with him, but let's be honest, it'll probably come down to a walk in the woods. I'll watch him hunt something and cheer at the appropriate time. Speaking of the stag, he should be waiting for me at the north gate. I should hurry to find him before he leaves. Getting through the city is easier than yesterday. Capital or not, it's early morning. People are just starting to wake up and passers-by are few. It only takes me about 15 minutes to get to the city gates. Now I just need to find my hunting companion. It's without surprise that I see Vekad sitting on the side of the road, carving the wooden figure he was already working on the day before. He has made quite a bit of progress, as I now recognize the shape of a crocodile's head. The strange thing is that the posture of this reptilian creature looks neither animal nor anthrokin. It's a kind of a monstrous hybrid that one could find in a children's story. I don't even have time to address the hunter before he lifts his head in my direction, greeting me with a polite nod before carefully stowing his work of art in a small satchel hanging from his belt. Didn't think you'd get here before I left. Usually it's too soon for people who enjoy their little comforts. He allows himself a smirk that hints at scorn for me as he stands up. Who does he think I am? You know, I've rarely lived in one place for long. I'm used to getting up early and leaving in a hurry. Getting up early is a good start, but are you able to be efficient after waking up? Dearest Vekad, I have survived huge binges followed by very short nights before our gigs even started, and I captivated the crowds despite my hangover. So if it's just a little forest walk in the morning, I should be able to get through it. We're not here to walk, we're here to hunt. And the first rule of hunting is to be quiet. You must avoid scaring our preys. Vekad's insistent look is enough to make me realize that our discussion ends here for now. Obviously, you're more than happy not to talk, Mr. Grumpy Horns. But so be it. I'll prove to you that I can be quiet. Sometimes. The buck takes the lead and walks briskly. Given our size difference, I'm almost forced to run to keep up. He's obviously not planning to go easy on me. I trot over to him, feeling a tad ridiculous being stuck between walking and running. But if he thinks that will be enough to shut me up, he's fooling himself. We're not in the woods yet. I doubt I'll scare anything away. So, that figurine you were carving, what exactly is it supposed to represent? Second, water time. Oh, the crocodile-looking thing. I don't know. Something I see in my dreams, if you can call that thing a dream. Ooh, so you are made like everyone else after all. Even you need sleep. I allow myself a playful smile, but the hunter just shakes his head with a growl. I guess you still think I'm a monster for what I did. I have no regrets. They had their chance to settle the situation peacefully. For a moment, I slow down, surprised by the turn this discussion is taking. This is not exactly what I meant. You're not the first person to kill to protect me, and I don't see you as a monster for it. To be quite honest, I was surprised by how easy it was for you, but I would never blame you for that. It's not easy. It's never easy. I just make it look like it is. First, you convince yourself that the person you're about to kill doesn't deserve to live. You tell yourself the world would be better off without them. The stag's voice hardens, and then he turns a cold gaze on me. I suddenly feel like I'm not talking to the same person. All emotion seems to have left the shell, leaving it full of emptiness. Then you think about all the other anthrokins who died because no one had the balls to kill these guys. You tell yourself every predator must know the fate of a prey sooner or later. I can barely swallow my saliva when I see Vekad's expression. I once again feel like a prey facing its predator, but I struggle as much as I can to keep my muscles from tetanizing. I can't assume to understand what you were going through. I can only appreciate what you have done for me. As long as there are people like you out there, I guess I feel safe? The hunter's eyes seem to come to life again, and he shakes his head, watching me as if I'd said something stupid. You shouldn't. The only one who can guarantee your safety is yourself. Maybe you've been relying on others until now, but I can only encourage you to become independent. That's why I'm going to teach you to hunt. This time I stopped completely and crossed my arms, tapping my paw on the ground. When exactly was he planning to tell me this? I didn't plan to hunt, I planned to watch you hunt. I'm an herbivore, I don't need to learn that. I never said I would let you watch, I said I'd take you with me. Do you really think you are here to sniff flowers and pick mushrooms? You're too used to having it easy, little prey. Vekad grins, obviously struggling not to outright laugh at me. I felt a little insulted, but he's not completely wrong. I should have seen it coming. I'm not happy about it, though, but I gave my approval yesterday. All I had to do is ask for details then. That'll teach me, I guess. Okay, I can try. But I'm unable to hurt a fly, so a real prey? And besides, you only have one bow, and I doubt I'll be able to handle it considering the size of this thing. I'll help you. Don't worry about that. The hunter pauses for a moment, and then, sensing my worried look, immediately resumes with an air both reassuring and full of authority. And no, there's no point in making any more excuses. You have to learn to survive on your own. I'm not going to hunt for you every time you need a new string. It's easier to teach you the ropes. Now it's my turn to sigh heavily and keep quiet. I don't really want to kill an animal. That's usually the job of predators. The truth is, Vekad isn't a predator either, and yet he is the royal hunter. At least the stag got what he wanted. No one talks anymore. And it probably suits him since the vegetation is getting thicker and thicker around us. He would have asked me to keep quiet so as to not scare the prey away anyway. I'm enjoying the sound of the wind in the branches and the birds singing while I can. Maybe I'll find some inspiration in nature. Who knows? Well, it's not as interesting as epic battles or steamy romances when it comes to storytelling, but it speaks to other, deeper emotions. I suddenly hear a rustling in the grass. It seems that Vekad's hearing is not quite as sharp as mine, since he continues walking. Without waiting, I grab his arm and point in the direction of the noise before putting a finger in front of my lips. He understands immediately and grabs his bow before lifting his muzzle into the air. He sniffs? Then he ducks and moves forward under the cover of the thickets, skirting around the direction I pointed. I followed him closely, without crouching since I'm practically his size now. The hunter eventually positions himself on a high point from which we can see the source of the noise. It's a stag. Second, y'all. Water time. I glance towards Vekad, but he doesn't seem to have the same hesitation as I do. Is he really hunting his own species? The animal is too busy grazing to notice us, and obviously it doesn't sense us either. Without waiting, my hunting partner puts the bow between my fingers and then whispers in my ear, I'll help you pull the string. You are right-handed, so hold the bow in your left paw, the string in your right, and aim with your right eye. I will correct your posture. What, just like that? Right now? Don't I get 5 minutes of prep time? A little warm-up? Or even a demonstration? Vekad gives me an impatient look and I tighten my paws on the weapon. This is clearly not the time to question. Feeling the adrenaline pumping through me, I try to get into what feels like the most natural position to shoot. Vekad's paws come to rest on my right shoulder and left hip to position me. Then he notches the arrow. It could almost be a romantic moment if the stag wasn't so rough with me. I feel like I'm being shaken like a plum tree in the middle of harvest season, but the warmth of the hunter's breath against the back of my neck sends shivers and excitement down my spine. This reminds me of my lessons with Erwin, but I must say they were considerably more enjoyable. I doubt Vekad and I would end this day in the same bed. My mental wanderings come to an end when I feel the rope tighten. I'm obviously not the one who manages to pull it. The damn weapon is impossible to handle. The buck has placed his paw under mine on the bow's handle, and I can feel his body tense up from the effort. It's strange. I feel like he's much more muscular than he looks. Although the moment is pleasant, the position is not the most comfortable. He feels like a real stone wall against my back. You better move your ears or the string will cut them. And put the tip of the arrow slightly above your target. What to do? Shoot the deer. Spare the animal. Shoot the deer. Spare the animals. What Vekad wants. Let's impress Vekad. Hey, the hunter's gotta eat. Under the hunter's guidance, I am careful not to let anything stick out while correcting my aim. That's when he releases the string. I can feel the gust causing by all this tension suddenly released, and the projectile goes at full speed into the animal's side with so much power that only the fletching protrudes. For a moment, I am torn between the excitement of having succeeded and the fact that I have killed an animal for the first time. But by some divine intervention, the animal is still standing. He bolts immediately after the initial surprise while I stand there, my body shaking with the adrenaline of the moment, yet not knowing what to do. I barely have time to understand what I have to do when Vekad has already launched himself after the beast. I shake my head and try to follow him, but his size and the fact that he is used to running through the thickets ensure that I lose him very quickly. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye!